Welcome to video 80 in series 3, and in this video we're going to write a really interesting script, which is the enemy attack script. Okay, so make a new C# script, enemy attack, and open it up. And I'll start by just filling in the variables, so private enemy master, private transform attack target, private transform my transform, public float attack rate, I'll give it a default value of 1, public float, oh not public, I'll just put private float next attack, public float attack range, and this was based off the stopping distance, a little bit more than the stopping distance, so 3.5, and also a public int damage, so I'll put that to 10, and actually I'll call that attack damage so it's really clear. Okay. I won't need the start method. I will have a new method here. Void set attack target transform target transform, and attack target is equal to target transform inside of that. That was easy. I'll have another one here, void try to attack. This one will run inside of update, so try to attack, then public void on enemy attack. Now this one is very different. We haven't written one like this. This method will actually be called by the hpunch animation. Called by hpunch animation. So we're actually going to set up an event on the animation itself using mechanism, and that will call this method here, and it is actually this that will apply damage to the player if certain conditions are met, and void disable this, so we disable this, and I'll just put here this dot enabled is equal to false. I'll go and set my initial references, so enemy master is get component enemy master, and I had a my transform, yep, so my transform is equal to transform. Now let's set that, set initial references, and set enemy master dot event enemy die, disable this, and enemy master dot event set nav target, and that is going to be set attack target. Oh no, not that. Set attack target. Okay, and so that will set it automatically for us. When the enemy sees the player, that event gets called. It gets supplied with the transform, and that is going to get transmitted all the way here, and it's going to be stored in this script. So even when the enemy loses their navigation target, the attack target will stay filled, and that way it'll always be, so it won't lose the player if they hide or whatever. If they come across the player and they're just near enough, they'll just attack, because this script is independent. So it's just relying on the events to supply it with the event to supply it with the necessary transform, and from there it takes care of stuff by itself. Okay, so I've done all that other stuff. Okay, so it's now to the two methods themselves. If attack target is not equal to null, then if time is greater than next attack, next attack is equal to time.time plus attack rate. If the enemy is near enough to their target, so if vector3.distance, so let me write that, vector3.distance, and from where to where, my transform.position attack target dot position. So if that distance is less than or equal to the attack range, and yep, okay, I will first of all have the enemy actually face the player, so they will just immediately turn to face the player. So I'll do that first of all by capturing a new vector3. So vector3, I'll make it up. This will be look at vector is equal to a new vector3 my transform dot position dot x, or no, rather, no, that's wrong. Attack target dot position dot x, because I want them to look at the attack target, but I don't want them to look at the attack target's y position, because that could cause the enemy to tilt weirdly in the game. So make them look at their own height. So my transform.position.y, that's why I'm constructing a new vector3 here to do just this. And then attack target.position.z. Okay, and this is our new look at vector. Then I'll say my transform.look at the look at vector, and it'll immediately turn the enemy to face the player. Okay, so enemy master.call event enemy attack, and enemy master.isOnRoute is equal to false. They're no longer going to be going towards their whatever destination. They're in range and they should attack. Now this event will actually just result in the attack animation playing. So you can see that all it's done is to make the enemy face the player and then call this event, which will in turn cause the enemy's attack animation to play and to stop the enemy from moving about as well. But it doesn't actually do any kind of checks or sort of stuff to apply damage to the player. It is actually the animation that is now going to call this method at the appropriate time. So let's go set that up. So let's find the golem. So going back to imported, golem over here, animation, H-punch, this is my attack animation. You can see down here in mechanism events. So if you play that, you can see where it is. Let me just increase the size of that. Right, so let's go to events. Now you can see a timeline here. And before I do anything, let me go back to the script. Let me copy that. I need exactly the same name on enemy attack. Okay. So let's just drag this here. It'll match up here in the timeline there. Where do I want the actual damage application to happen? I want it to be just about at this point in the animation. Maybe a little further. No, it doesn't look quite right. Yeah, just about there. Well, so you can just judge it for yourself, and then at that point just copy in the name of the method. And what is the object? The object is the script itself. So go back to enemy scripts. It's the enemy attack script. So what it's saying is that when this point in the animation timeline is reached, the onEnemyAttack method on this object will be called. That's what it's saying. Okay, and if you don't have this method on the script, you'll get an error for that. Okay, and you can always click on it to adjust it or delete it. It's pretty easy to do all that. Okay, so let's apply that. You could hit the apply button, or if you click away, it'll ask you to. So yes, I want to apply that. Thank you. Alright, so let's go back to the script and let's finish this. If attack target is not equal to null, so no point trying to attack if it is null. And if we're still close enough and the attack target actually has the player master component and must have that, then we will check if the player is in front. So why am I checking the distance? So why am I doing this? Why am I checking the distance again? Because you know the player, by the time the animation plays and reaches that damage application point, the player could have avoided the attack. So that's why you have to check again. So vector3 dot distance, my transform dot position, attack target dot position, and is less than or equal to attack range. Oh, it's not attack target, attack range, and attack target dot get component player master not equal to null. If these conditions are satisfied, then I need to check. Alright, so if these conditions are satisfied, then is the player actually in front of the enemy? Because, you know, if they're behind the enemy, you know, you ran behind the enemy, but you're still close to them, you don't want to get damaged, right? You only want to get damaged. Well, you don't want to get damaged, but you only should get damaged if you're in front of the enemy, so you're actually getting hit by their attack. So we need to check for that. So to do that, first of all, I will make up a vector3. I'll call it toOther. It's a direction vector. And it will be attack target dot position minus my transform dot position. And this is the direction vector. Next, I will do a dot product. So if vector3 dot toOther and my transform dot forward is greater than 0.5f, then this means that they're in front of us. So you can check this. The way to do this is to go debug.log and just copy in this phrase here, vector3 dot toString, and see for yourself. Do that and go play it once. Well, actually, you can play it right now and attach the script, run it, and you'll see for yourself what those values are as you move around the enemy. When you're in front of them, it's a positive value, and I guess it also depends how much to the sides as well you are to the enemy, what that value will become. So this is just something that I just played around, and so okay, 0.5 looks about right. That's all it is. Okay, so I'll just comment that out. So finally, I'll say attack target dot get component. It's the player master that I'm going to get. Dot call event player health deduction, and that is damage, attack damage. Okay, and this will cause the player to get hurt. Okay, so let's just have a scan of that. I think I've got it working alright. So just to remind you, the try to attack method simply ends up calling an event, and that results in the animation, the attack animation playing, and the enemy looking at the player, and them stop moving, pretty much. And when the animation plays, at a certain point this method gets called, and now if the player is near enough and they have the player master component and they are in front of the enemy, then damage is applied to them. So it's very simple when you think about it. It's just knowing how to actually achieve all that. Okay, so going back now to the golem, let's go ahead and attach this enemy attack script. Okay, and all those parameters look just nice to me. I'll hit apply, save that, jump in. Okay, just get rid of these blocks, can't hurt him at the moment. Okay, now he sees me, he's coming. Let me just get closer. Alright, ouch. Oh yeah, my health is really dropping. That's one aggressive guy. So if I run to the side, whoops, I wasn't fast enough. So if I do try and get behind him, let's say he attacks, there you go. He can't actually hurt me. He'll try and attack, but I didn't satisfy the conditions. If I'm not fast enough, then he will hit me. So there we go. Ow, he got me. Alright, so, and you can remember that there is a game over. We made that a long while back, and it is working just fine. So I can restart the level, and all good. So we can't fight back against him right now. It's completely invulnerable, and he's going to be for a while. We've got a couple more scripts to write before we can actually defeat this golem, who is now invulnerable. The best that we can do is run and hide from him. Yes, hide. Good. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.